Want to know about the real Japan? This podcast introduces who we are and why we can help you.
What's up, everybody? This is your host LL and your host FT.
What's good, guys? You know what I'm saying? What's good? Welcome to the Gaijin bar. We are here. We are about to give you
Episode
guys
one, baby. This is the first one. First one.
episode one. Let's get it. The podcast that you've all been waiting for. I know it took me
I know I've
about
been waiting for it for a minute.
took me about a couple years, but we here though. We here though. It don't matter. You know
We're
what I'm
here.
saying? We
We're
are
here.
here.
We're here. We made it happen. We made it happen. What are we talking about today, bro?
Well, so they've been waiting for this podcast, and they're probably like, "Well, who the hell are you guys? And
That
why
tracks.
why are you telling us about Japan, or what makes you think that you can teach me something?" Well, I'm here to tell you who I am and why I'm qualified to do such a thing.
I am very qualified too.
Oh yeah, he is too. That's
But
right.
why don't you go? Why don't you go? So, why are you here in Japan in the first place? I mean, first of all, what do you do? Do you want to share that?
Okay, well, so I can start off to for the general summary. Basically, I'm a I'm a weeb living out his dream. I mean,
Aren't
hey,
we
look,
all though?
I mean,
Look at the background there.
I mean, he's Sephiroth, and you know what I'm saying. So, but yeah, nah. For me, I was first introduced to Japan because of Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon. So my initial
How
interest in
many years
Japan
was that?
started with
Was it
that was
15 years ago?
probably like 20 something
20
like
years
that.
ago? God, that's that long? Jesus.
Yeah, it
Dragon Ball has
started.
been around.
I woke up at like 5 or 6 in the morning one day, and I was half asleep, and I seen Dragon Ball, and I seen like Master Roshi grow up, like when he did the when he got buff and shot the
Yeah.
Kamehameha and blew up the house. And
Oh,
I was
the
always
Dragon Ball
into
was a
drawing.
good one, though.
It was super well. It was very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that joint was good. I was into drawing, so when I saw the art style, I'm like, oh, what's this? But I thought I dreamed it, so I told my cousin like, yo, I seen this thing, but I don't know if it was real or not. So eventually, I seen Dragon Ball again
Mm,
and Sailor Moon or whatever. And what happened is, I seen Goku little symbol on his gi,
yeah.
right? And I'm like, I know A, I know B, I know C, D, E, F, G, all the way to Z. The hell is that? And then they're like, oh, well, that's Japanese. The
Now,
hell
the
is
question
Japanese?
is, did you learn the word "gi" from Dragon Ball, or did you know it beforehand?
Nah,
Because I bet you whatever.
I
Most
did
people
karate.
didn't
I did
know it.
karate. I did
Okay, all
karate.
right, all right.
I didn't know his shirt. That's what I used to call it, his shirt back in the day. So I seen that little symbol, and then that's when I learned like, that's Japanese.
Mm,
Okay, so I was already interested in Japanese art style. Then we got like Street Fighter 2 and Fatal Fury, Hadouken. Let me see. I know Apple, Cat. Never heard of Hadouken before. What's that?
mm.
Again. Oh, well, that's Japanese. Huh, two for two. Things that I like, and it's Japanese stuff, right? So it kind of started transitioning from there as I got older and I started watching more anime and games and playing more games and whatnot. I got interested more and more in Japan, and I always wanted to make a series, like my own series. So like
Like a manga type of thing, like
yeah, like a
an
manga or
anime. Oh,
anime.
all right, cool.
So like how people always say, "What's your ideal job?" For me personally, it would have been to make a series like Dragon Ball, Bleach, or Naruto, one of these, where I was the artist and making a story, and then I get a bunch of different like games
A
and stuff made
studio.
after my franchise.
Yeah,
That's basically all I want to do.
a
Make a make
franchise. Yeah.
make a franchise that everybody loves. That would have been like, if the world was perfect, that's what would be my perfect world, where I done
Right. Is it
made some
possible though to
series.
make it happen though? Because I mean, I think there is still time to make
I
it
think still
happen.
I think it's still
Theoretically
possible,
speaking, right?
especially because of the net, like with the internet and
Yeah. Oh my
all
God.
these
Yeah.
different
Times have
platforms.
changed.
So, but that's basically what got my initial interest in Japan. So, how about you?
Well, mine is way nerdier than that. Like I grew up in a Shin neighborhood, which I think we can relate. And the thing is that it doesn't really sit well with people when you're too much of a reader. Like, oh my
Hmm.
God, you read, how dare you? And,
Even I think that too. Even I think
they,
that too.
they,
Even
they, they
like,
treat you kind of like, second class citizen type of thing. And, someone who should be beat on principle.
mm,
And so I used to sneak into the public library, like not tell my friends or
nerd.
anything like that. Right, right. But that was the problem because but the thing is that the nerd was also followed by a beating usually, so you don't really want to get through that. So anyway, I go there and I end up in these um, section, the Asian section specifically, there's this Japanese book called the Bushido. I don't know what the fuck
Mm,
that is.
mm,
So I pick up this Bushido, teeny tiny book. I'm like 11 years old, 12 years old, and take it home
mm.
and start reading. And the Bushido, for those of you who don't know, is like the seven principles that govern the life of the samurai, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's cool for a kid. Like you start talking about honor and strength and power and stuff like that. I mean,
Mm.
it got me started. So I went back to the library. I got more stuff related to Japan, and of course, like I'm Italian, right? And in
Mm-hmm.
Europe, people my generation, I'm 40 years old. People my generation, we grew up with anime.
Mm-hmm.
And we know it's anime. We know it's Japanese. It's just that is the only Japanese thing that we're exposed to. And then later, I started
Uh,
reading manga as well, and so on and so forth. Because manga were not that big. In fact, a couple of publishing companies failed in Italy, like utterly, when they
I'm trying
tried to
to
bring manga to Italy.
try to get manga out there. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was like what got me started with Japan in general. I got interested, and I wanted to do more. I wanted to learn more. Then I started doing history, and the nerd became nerdier. But that's the
Uh-huh.
thing, yeah. Although when I did come to Japan, I came here as a historian. What did you end up doing? Because a bunch of people will ask you that, and
Mm.
I know that mine is a little bit more niche. But what did you end up doing in order to set foot in Japan in the first place?
Okay, so like you, I also grew up in like a super trash neighborhood. Also, by the way, I'm from Newark, New Jersey. By the way, if y'all don't know, shout out to Newark, New Jersey for all my
I'm hearing gunshots in the background just by mentioning it.
shout out to Newark, New Jersey for all my people from Newark, New Jersey. Just know it'll get better. All right, you could get out of there. All right, trust me. That's what I'm trying to represent. I'm trying to represent a beacon of hope that you can get out. Be yourself. All right. A lot of kids was into anime and gaming and all that too, but they decided to like join gangs and stuff because it wasn't the thing to do. You know what I'm saying? So I never really cared. I do what I like to do, and that's just what it is. So um actually, it started when I met like you, not just you specifically, but when
The
I
group.
started going into New York City a lot. So what happened is this how this happened. Uh, I'm when I was telling y'all about like games and stuff, I'm actually like into competitive fighting games. So like I travel around like different states and then now countries to like compete in different fighting game
You were
tournaments.
doing it also when we met, right? Like you were
Yeah.
traveling from state to state also when we met, yeah.
hmm So the fighting games is what actually got me into traveling. So my neighborhood is like one of them places where like yo I live here, I'm gonna die here. This is where I belong on this block right here. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
nobody. What? Travel? What's that? Oh, I go to East Orange. That's like, I go to Irvington, but like another country?
Not even all
Crazy?
the oranges, it's just East
Yeah,
Orange.
East Orange. That's all right. We go there. So it's like nobody really was about that. But for me, I'm like, all right, well, I want to do this gaming thing serious. So once I decided to take gaming serious, because the jokes was coming. You know what I mean? You got this like this controller here, right? They like, yo, where the game, where the CD go? Making jokes like that. I'm like, all right, well, once I commit to this, I gotta either A, just not care what nobody gonna say about me from that point on, or don't do this because I don't want to get teased or whatever. But like
Mm.
I said, I always just do what I like to do. I can't I could care less, man. You gotta live. You got one life. I can't live my life for other people. I gotta, you know what I mean? I gotta live my own life. So I'm just like, all right,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going with this. And then I started traveling and learning about like first it started like other parts of New Jersey, then Philadelphia, New York. So when I started going to New York, I met this guy named Carl. Shout out to Carl.
Shout
Um,
out to Carl.
he had a party and
Carl actually made my website, by the way. I've been leeching off of his work with the website. Like, he did a great job. He did a great job. Really, shout out to Carl.
yeah,
I
shout out to
will
Carl,
put
man.
some link on YouTube. He's the fucking man. So
Yeah,
so go
Carl's
go.
awesome.
What was it like? You went to his party or something, right?
Yeah, I went to his party. So what happened is we was friends on Facebook. So he, one day I saw I'm attending the Japanese meetup on his page, like where you could share, like from Meetup.com, you could like
Yeah,
share your
yeah,
link.
yeah, yeah.
So I seen that and I said Japanese
The
meetup,
fuck's a Japanese meetup?
and I'm thinking like, yo, you know what? At this time I was unemployed, collecting unemployment. So I was like, Japanese meetup, yo, wait. I always was interested in Japan. I ain't got no job. I might as well just go. Got nothing else to do. Might as well go learn some Japanese. Now, listen. All right, guys. Let me just preface this. I'm definitely not racist. However,
Okay, every time when somebody prefaces anything with "I'm definitely not racist," you are definitely about to say some racist shit.
it's definitely about
I'm
to be.
sure.
This is definitely about to be potentially racist. So, in my head, as a fighting game player, I was under the assumption that every Japanese player I met was gonna be super nice at Street Fighter. It's just I assume. Yeah, I
That's
mean,
just how it is. I mean,
Daigo's Japanese. Yo, so Takashi gotta be, you know what I mean? He gotta be Daigo level,
you
you
know,
know.
FT, you have a point because I too, I'm sure that you agree with that every black person is good at basketball, right?
No,
So
not at
it's
all.
just so you know what I mean. You
Yeah,
see the fucking
but
point,
I'm
but Michael Jordan is black. I mean, what the
right.
fuck?
But I mean, hey, look, man, we more ignorant times, all right? This was the more ignorant days. So I'm like, all right, bet I'm gonna go find, some Street Fighter players so I could get mad nice, at this Japanese meetup. Let's go. That was the mission. We're gonna make some Japanese friends so we could train in Street Fighter, train in Tekken. You know what I mean? So I went to this Japanese meetup, and I ended up meeting this dude named Romeo in New York, right?
Mm.
So Romeo told me, "Yo, come to the Korean meetup," and I said, "Why the hell would I do that? Like, they not good at like Street Fighter." I was like, "Bet they good at Tekken though." Yo, Nee was the number one
I mean,
player
so
for
okay,
Korea,
so you
man.
pretty
Hey, look.
much you had your world divided on the map based on what video games you thought they were nice at, based on your
Hey
very
man,
limited at that
hey
time
man, got me
knowledge.
got me out the hood, man. I'm like, I bet. Let me go find a Tekken player. So I went to the Korean meetup, and that's when I met like Dane, and then ended up meeting like Ezra, and then Ben and all these other guys, right?
Yeah, shit ton of people. Yeah.
Yeah, basically mad people. And then what happened is the dude Ben is how I ended up at your house party for the New Year's.
Was he?
Yep, he's the
But
reason
wait,
why I ended
we
up there.
met before that though,
So
right?
we met at a Carl's
We
party,
met a Cars party. Yeah.
but then Ben invited me to your party.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
remember that that was the time that you were still kind of trying to get in touch with your inner Asian self. Like you were not exactly knowledgeable when it came to Asia in general.
nah, man, I just told you what I was thinking. I had a, you
It
know what
was
I mean?
brutal. It was brutal. So I don't know how the fuck we actually managed to become friends at that time. I wonder what is it that we saw in each other
No, we
because
played
we.
Tekken. Remember?
Well, no, you play Tekken. I got
No, you
fucking
did
run.
too.
I got run over. No, I play Tekken. You play Tekken. We're like, I'm
And
like, yo,
then
play. Let's play together. Like you run me the fuck over. I remember that. It was in my house.
nah,
Like,
that was at Carl's house. Carl's house. That
was
was
it
the
the
day we
first
met. That
time?
was the day we met. Yeah, that day.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was drunk as hell too that day. As usually
Yo,
I
I'm
probably
nice at
was.
Call of Duty. Shut up.
And what happened is when I went to his house, that's when we actually I don't know I got drunk that day too, so I probably something I must have did something good at that time.
Alcohol does it.
But yeah, that's how we ended up meeting from Carl's party, and then we became friends at
Yeah.
his house party. I probably stayed over and then woke up. Like he used to let people stay over if they wake up and clean up. So I just crashed. I had to go all the way back to
Yeah,
Jersey. I
I
wasn't
don't
doing
even
that.
remember actually. Like, I don't remember that particular party because I used to throw these like a shit ton of parties. This is kind of like how Sean, like FT and I met and we became friends. But the thing is that it was kind of organic. I just don't remember when it started. But I do remember that I used to throw like a bunch of parties in my house. My house was kind of my apartment was kind of big for New York, so we had these sometimes massive parties, a shit ton of people, and of these shit ton of people, occasionally you would have those few friends that become friends. Look at us. I mean, now it's been
Over 12,
12
11,
years, give or
something like that.
take. Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. And yo, you still didn't tell us what the fuck you do here in Japan, though.
Oh right, okay. Oh, yeah. I
I'm
actually have.
like,
I don't know how I got into all that, but anyway, I teach
I mean, I
English.
like long-winded answers, but goddamn, it's been 14 minutes, 19 seconds, and
Yeah,
counting, dude.
so I'm currently an English teacher and a part-time content creator, I guess. I don't
Ah,
know.
the best job in the world. I'm talking about the English teacher. How do you how do you
So,
like it? How do you like teaching
uh,
English here?
uh, it's easy. It just doesn't pay a lot. So,
Hmm.
like, you'll you'll get here, and you basically like a tape recorder. Okay, kids repeat after me. You know,
Mm,
go, go,
the
A,
Japanese way.
A, B, B, baseball, baseball. Like, like this kind of way. But it's easy. It's just, you don't really get compensated well. So it's like it's something you do just to get here,
Mm.
not to invest
Which,
your
by the
life in.
way, there is a proviso to this. Like, it is true that it's very easy to find a job as an English teacher,
Mm,
as long as you're a native English speaker. Like,
mm,
let's assume, for the sake of argument, that you're somebody who doesn't come from a country that um, has English as their first language. Um, and even if you speak English impeccably, you're going to have a harder time finding a job here than somebody who is, say, for example, from the United States, United Kingdom, Australia, whatever, coming here looking for the same job with less qualifications, even if they speak English worse than you do. So,
mm-hmm.
if you're from a native English speaking country, especially if it's from, in this order, United States, Great Britain,
Don't forget Canada.
Australia, Canada, United States, North America, Great Britain, and Australia, you're going to have an easy time. Other countries, meh.
Yeah, Philippines can get in, but kind of. But we could have a whole nother episode about
Yeah, we
you
will. We
know
will, in fact.
English teaching and what that entails. But for me, it's just a job to keep it a buck. It's just a way to keep my visa, a way to keep paying bills and whatnot. And just staying in this country because I like it here so far.
When I
And
came
then
here, oh, go ahead.
oh no, and then like I said, and then I do you know YouTube and Twitch and whatnot, and um, uh, little side projects to you know generate more income because English teacher won't be enough. I'm telling you right now.
Doesn't pay that much.
Unless you're gonna be like a professor, then you'll be alright. Or if you're gonna do like,
Funny you should mention that.
well, yeah, I guess yeah, if you're gonna be a professor,
Yeah.
potentially, I don't even know. I'm assuming a professor
it's
makes good
it's
money.
not it's not actually that, like, depending on what kind of professor you are. If you end up being a professor of English in
Mm,
a university, so if you are actually part of the curriculum, so you're part of the, you actually have your own course. Okay, so it's not like you're teaching in a university English. So you are teaching English as part of this course
mm,
that people have to take. So it's a different thing because there's a lot of people that teach English in a university, even professors who teach English in a university, but it's a separate thing. It doesn't have anything to do with the degree that the kids are
uh,
going to get. So it's a different thing. You're going to get paid a little bit more, but don't expect that much more. Like,
mm,
when I came to Japan, originally I wanted to go to Korea. I was supposed to go to Korea because I was gonna do my studies there. When I needed to finish some research, I was gonna go to Korea for a couple of years. Eventually, things changed. I ended up in Japan, and then I decided to stay here longer. I came here as a historian, actually, so
mm.
it's a little bit different.
Funny thing about
And
that, I was actually gonna start. I was actually gonna start in Australia, like, because I was like
you
30,
did wanna do that,
so
yeah?
I was gonna use the working
Study
holiday
holiday,
visa
yeah.
and go
Working
to
holiday.
Australia for a year and then move to Japan after. But when I applied, Japan got back to me. Like the company I applied to got back to me first. So I was like,
Mm.
I just go to Japan now and you know whatever happens happens. Luckily I did though, because COVID.
How do you like it here, though? Like now, so now it's been how long? 2 years, 3 years? What is it?
2 years going on three. Mm.
So now you have like enough time spent here to know
Oh, I
how you
mean,
feel about it.
no, I like it here. Like literally, the only thing I don't like is the amount of money. That's the only thing. Like, but other than that, like nobody bothers me when I don't want to be bothered.
Mm.
Um, you can ask people questions on the streets. Like, I like if I'm lost, I sumasen. Don't again, don't and guys, don't think you can rely on English. Japanese English is not good. Let's just say not good.
English is not very well taught
Yeah, and
here.
it's not
Yeah.
really good here. But again, if you know how to bust out a sumimasen, nani nani doko desu ka, I mean, you might not understand, but they'll be pointing their way. You know what I mean? So you could
When
get to
I
where you need to go.
uh, when I visited Japan the first time, this was a long time ago, like years ago, maybe a little less than 10. I couldn't speak a lick of Japanese, right? So, but just I did just that. I didn't even do the sumimasen thing. I just approached the cops and I was with the map and I pointed at the map. like I'm Indiana Jones and I'm looking for that treasure. And this chick cop, I swear to God, she grabbed me by delicately by the wrist, so I didn't feel like I was getting arrested, and she took me to the place, and it's like, this is what you're looking for.
Oh
I
damn.
mean, she pointed at it. I'm assuming that that's what she was thinking. I mean, I don't know. Like the language barrier was real, but no, it's okay to do that, and you're not gonna freak anybody out. In fact, people are probably gonna like it too.
Mm.
Um, like they want to offer help, they just can't offer help
Yeah.
for the most part.
And so again, like that is a thing, right? Where people are helpful when they can be. They usually don't mind being such. Um, of course, the anime, the games, manga. I mean, Akihabara, love that place. The safety, at least from where I come from, unparalleled. I could walk around at
I
any
think
time
it,
at night,
yeah, the
any time at
comparison
night.
depending on where you come from.
Yeah, because safety might not be a big thing for other people, but it's super important for me.
Mm.
I literally feel nothing at any time at night.
I still turn around if a fucking car is revving though. Ah, god damn it! I
Oh
always
yeah,
do.
it's still
Like
like
2 days later.
things, right? It's still things, but more or less you don't got to worry about nothing. So personally, yeah, out like literally outside of just like uh money stuff, the country itself is fine. Like I'm not even like adjusting to like the rules and stuff like that. Like I used to be a habitual litterer and jaywalker. I don't even know if litterer is a
Mm,
word, but it's one today. So, but now,
we made a
well, I
word.
won't litter at all, and jaywalking I will at least consider it. So I've been reformed a little bit.
Although recently you learned that jaywalking is an actual
Crime, and I did
offense.
not know
That's
that.
that's a proper thing. Like you can actually shit you not go to jail for that. I wanted to do an episode about
Oh,
weird
we will.
laws
We
slash
will. No, we
rules.
will. I was gonna say y'all guys just wait for the law episode. We got y'all.
But do remember that jaywalking is actually a thing here. They can fine you up to 5,000
Oh
US,
damn.
and they actually put you in prison for a couple of months for some shits. So yeah, that's that.
All right. Don't jaywalk, guys. Don't be like me.
I like it here too. I've been here a little bit longer
Mm,
than you have. So like it's been now what 5 6 years.
mm,
So I've seen Japan without COVID and I've seen Japan with COVID. Um, I was like really, really in love with Japan when I came here. That's why I stayed longer because I was supposed to stay 2 years. Then I decided to kind
mm,
of, you know, overhaul everything and, make it so that I could stay here longer. And I
mm,
did. Then COVID happened, and, of course, that was kind of a bummer, I think, for the whole world. But
mm,
it also kind of made me see Japan differently. And I think that for a time, I sort of lost track of what it is that I really liked about Japan, and I only managed to focus on the bad things, so like the bureaucracy, for example, or the stupid rules, or the government not giving a shit about actually trying to create some sort of prevention
mm.
for COVID and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I
So
hated
it
that
kind
too,
of
man.
shifted my attack, right?
Yeah, as a teacher, I'm literally doing. At least my feeling was I'm doing like one of the most dangerous jobs in this country for like shit pay, but I'm risking like my life at this point, to do this. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't like it's called remote teaching, guys. You can just Zoom and I'd be right here. I
Yeah,
can
God forbid. I
literally
mean,
we're
they,
doing it right now. Like this is teach just like this, but so I felt some of that too. Like like what is this?
yeah, I really was disappointed. I would say probably because the thing is that when I came to Japan, like unlike a lot of people, I knew exactly what I was looking. I mean, was what I was getting into.
Mm,
I know exactly the things that I would have not liked. I knew exactly the things that I would have liked. To what extent I would have disliked or liked something. I knew the rules. I knew the weird. I have tattoos, for example. Stupid thing. I knew exactly how the tattoos would be perceived.
mm,
I knew exactly what I could and could have not done with tattoos and so on and so forth. I knew what I was getting into when it comes to the workplace. There's a lot of things that surprise a lot of foreigners once they come here that did not surprise me.
mm,
COVID changed that because I didn't see it coming. And
mm.
I wasn't prepared for how the whole society would have, the society as a whole would have behaved. But now I'm back on track, I guess. Like, I like Japan. I like being here. I enjoy it. It's not
But
for everyone, I
I
feel.
about to say because you see like even when you was talking about that, right? The thing is like even that aspect of Japan when you was talking about the bureaucracy and what I was just thinking like this is still better than going back to being shot for no reason because I'm black and just I mean, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just
I feel you.
like even like all the stuff that happened last year or the year before was it? Like to me that was stuff I always seen anyway. You know what I mean? Like I've been targeted by cops and everything like that. So to me it was just like, oh, now the rest of the world can just see what America how I always viewed America anyway. So
Yeah.
America was never really my home in that sense anyway, personally. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't really it's not that I hate America or something like that. No, I'm just saying well, I don't really care
It's
about
not. It's
America
not
per
about
se.
hating America or whatever. It's just like if you grew up in a certain environment and you struggled or you tried worked to get out of that environment, you do not want to get back into the environment that you started from.
Right, 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 right.
Forget about the country. I mean, could be America, could be whatever. But I definitely understand that. I don't know if I feel the same about Rome. I mean, Italy rather, because I kind of want to go back to Rome, but at the same time, I wouldn't want to do that losing on the things that I built here in Japan.
Mhm.
Um, you know, not my books, working,
Mhm.
writing, articles, everything that I'm doing right now is somehow catered around Japan, and I've been working up, for it
I mean, hence this
for
podcast,
years.
right? Kind of, sort of, right?
Yeah, that podcast itself also is catered around Japan, so
I
I
mean,
don't know if I
because
want to go back.
I mean, like even with America, to be honest, I only care about Los Angeles and New York. To be honest, I mean, shout out to everybody everywhere else in America. But for me, like if I go back to America, I'm only living in New York City
Mm.
or Los Angeles, like somewhere in Cali, like one of them. I don't really care for like the other. I don't want to be in Missouri or nothing like that. I'm sorry. Shout out to Missouri too, but I
Why
don't
the
want to be
fuck
there.
did you have to mention the state itself? So not at this address. Fuck the people at this address in particular.
Nah, I like those guys.
Yeah,
Shout out to
John
everybody
and
everywhere.
Catherine, fuck off.
Alabama, what up? But yeah, so if I was if I was to go back, it would be honestly America wouldn't even be my first place to go back to. I would definitely be aiming towards like a Korea.
Yeah,
I liked Amsterdam a lot. Like I could see myself trying that over there. Germany was always somewhere on my radar. Maybe Australia might be a thing. I mean, but right now, to be honest, I really like what's going on in this country. So you know,
gotcha.
but
Do you think that, um, like, let's assume that somebody right now is thinking to come here
mm,
right now, right? Not particular skills or anything like that. Sort of like they want to come here and try, see if they can make it, it being whatever topic, whatever, field they want to make it in. Would you recommend
so
for people to
honestly.
come or
Honestly,
not?
I always recommend people if you want to try something, I honestly always say give it a shot because you never know, right? Because
Mm,
the reason why I try is because one of my main like motivations in my head that I go back to I seen this video of Jack Ma, the dude that made
yeah, yeah.
Alibaba, if y'all don't know.
Alibaba, yeah.
So he was talking about how he started his company. He was saying like he gathered all his friends and everybody was in the room. He gave a business plan. He said his friends told him, "Bruh, stop. You don't know what you're doing. You're gonna be wasting money. You don't know what's going on. Just quit." And he said one of his friends told him, "Yo, just try it. Worst come to worst, just go back to what you was doing before this."
Hmm.
And I thought about the same thing. I'm like, "Yo, that makes mad sense." Like when I lived in Korea before, right?
Yeah.
I dropped out of college. I had two jobs. I just quit the two jobs and I went to Korea. Then I could always go back to
How
college.
old
College is
were
always
you
gonna be
though?
there. I was 24.
24. So make that, would you do it now? The very same thing. So picture yourself at the age that you are now in the same situation that you were when you were 24 before you moved to Korea. Would you do the same thing?
I would because
Oh, okay.
the reason why is, bro, I worked at like a warehouse. It's not some career, 80, 90, $100,000 a year job. It's just like a
You
regular
could
ass.
argue that it was maybe a little bit of a dead end, like
Yeah, it's
just
like a
being
regular
there,
ass. And then I worked at like Home Depot. Like, that's not like again, it's
All
not
right, fair
some
enough. Fair
like so
enough.
for me personally, yes, like and then college is always going to be there. So literally, I had this thought like, all right, I'm gonna leave both of these companies on good terms. I'm gonna go check something new out. If it don't work out, I'll just come back to this. Like
Like, for me, it's a little bit more conflicting because I kind of think the same thing. Like, if you want to try something, then the one way that you have to know for sure is try it.
try it, yeah.
But the thing is that what is it that you're sacrificing? So that there's a lot of variables and so on and
Hmm.
so forth.
So you gotta weigh that out.
you gotta consider what it is,
because
but also
a lot of people are a lot of people realize don't realize that they're actually not good by themselves. Like, we're, mom, dad, my best friends. Oh my gosh,
yeah,
like
and going
a
to
lot of
another
people don't realize that.
continent where they don't speak your language is not the best way to try
Yeah,
that out.
a lot of people don't consider this kind of thing. Like loneliness is a thing. It can be a thing.
Mm,
Yeah, like you said, I'm literally a 33-year-old illiterate guy here. Like legit, right?
mm.
That's a thing. You don't even think about that. Oh, like
The
you
most
get hit
basic
by a
things
car.
become hard to do.
You get
Like
hit
the
by a
most
car. You can't describe like,
when
yo,
you're hurt.
this leg is hurting right here. But you just
It fucks my shit up.
you're just doing that. You're just making sounds and pointing, and you can't actually describe what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So like, these are things people don't really consider.
It's
But
also that beyond the limits, like the case limits, like the very particular situations. It's also that Japan, I feel, in particular Japan, doesn't always meet the expectations of the people that are visiting Japan or want to live in Japan. I think that Japan, as perceived abroad, doesn't really match the reality of things here. Some things, yeah, of course, the fashion, for example, or the anime, the manga, maybe yes, to a certain extent. I
yeah, I'm
mean,
about
they're
to say
very broadly
kinda.
known. Yeah. Well, one thing that is particularly true is that there is no stigma, for example, when it comes to ages who enjoy reading manga. For example, when you go on the
Hmm.
train, you can see somebody who's like 55 years old coming back from the office reading a manga just as much as the 13-year-old going back from school.
Hmm.
But the other thing, though, is that usually the expectations are not exactly the same. We're going to be talking a lot about this stuff on podcasts, but generally speaking, when you picture Japan, oftentimes you do not picture it as it is. You picture it as it's represented abroad, which is very skewed for the most
Hmm.
part, which is what I tendentially try to point out when people tell me, "Oh, I wish I could move to Japan." I'm like, I don't know, you might want to rethink it because I'm the opposite of you. Like, I don't tell people don't move. I tell people, yeah, move, but you really need to know what you're moving to before you do that because I don't think that there's going to be exactly what you're expecting.
Hmm.
I
Like,
don't know.
yeah, like I give you an example when I like Japan seems so goddamn technologically advanced, right? You feel like you're gonna be flying a Gundam to
That's a
work,
very good one, yeah.
and you goddamn using a fax machine at work. Again, we gonna, because we gonna get into it. If y'all
Yeah.
liking what y'all, just stay tuned.
Fax
Trust me.
machines, I'll throw another word in there, Hanko, do some research, you know what the fuck I mean?
Yeah.
Want
So,
to open a bank account? Welcome to the 1800s.
yep. Good luck. So, like, yeah, it's a lot of things that. But honestly, for me though, it's worth the trade. For me, it's worth the
Mm.
trade. Like,
Yeah, it has. That's the point. It has to be something that each individual chooses. Like there is no even category of people for whom it would work. This kind of move. It
it's
has to be
just,
each person.
yeah, you got to decide
Yeah.
whether, like, again, are you a person that's lonely? Do you even know if you're a person that's lonely or not? Is making friends a priority for you or not? Because it's not anime where you're gonna meet all your best buds and then you're gonna power up. No, it's not like that. Like, it's hard to
No,
make
you're
Japanese
just
friends.
yeah, you're the
It's actually
blank
hard.
background character if you come to Japan, dude. You're not the protagonist of the anime. You're the guy
Yeah,
that is standing faceless in the background.
and you'll be getting used per se. People walk up, hey man, what's up? And then you thinking like, oh, somebody talking to me, and then he just really just trying to, he or she just trying to impress their friends. Like, look, yo, I spoke English. So that y'all saw that I
But
spoke some
you can
English.
use that to speak Japanese. Fuck it.
Yeah, but I'm just
Japanese
saying
will
like,
take you a long way, bro.
but
By
I'm
the
but I'm
way,
saying
guys.
like people. I'm saying, but people may not understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, they
Yeah,
might feel some type of way. Like, I thought he was my friend. Nah, he just wanted to, or she just
there
wanted
is
to.
there is the meet and dash type of thing here in Japan. Like you meet somebody, you spend some time together, go out for drinks, have fun, and blah blah. You exchange contacts, and
And
then
never.
those people just disappear.
Bye bye. Cash straight Casper.
it's,
It's over.
it's never gonna happen ever
Yeah.
again. I'm
Yep.
not talking about romantic environment,
Just
like
period.
romantic
Just
relation. Like I'm talking about people, like random people, just meeting, having fun, chilling. You don't really make friends easily here.
yeah. So you
You either
gotta
have friends or you don't.
understand if that's you. Do you need that? How good are you being away from your family? You gotta understand that. You gotta understand Japanese food. it's delicious. It can get boring. I mean,
It
because
can get weird
it
too.
can, yeah, weird and boring. Like Japanese food usually doesn't have. It's usually bland, and then you kind of tailor it to what you want to do.
Yeah.
Can you live without the foods that you're missing from home? So, like for me,
And
I
guys,
love
that's a
Italian
big
cheeseburger.
thing.
I love
That's a
Italian cheeseburgers, macaroni and cheese,
Okay, of all
mashed
the
potatoes and
fucking
gravy.
dishes you could have mentioned, Italian cheeseburgers, of all the fucking,
Hey,
like, of
hey,
all
look,
the
man. Hey,
array
listen.
of
Hey, look,
dishes you
man.
could have
Hey,
mentioned.
look. It is what it is, man. Shout out to
You know what?
21st Street and
Describe to
everything,
me
man.
an Italian cheeseburger. I know you did before in the past, but I want everybody to know. What is an
An
Italian
Italian
cheeseburger?
cheeseburger is a hero roll, and then if you want an Italian hot dog, Italian chicken, or Italian cheesesteak, or Italian cheeseburger, you take whichever meat you're gonna use, a hot dog, put it in a bun, or you take the hamburger, you slice it in half, put each patty on each side, or the cheesesteak, whatever you're gonna do. Then you throw some French fries on it. That's it. Salt,
You
pepper,
throw you
ketchup. Let's go.
fresh what?
Some French fries. And there you go. Salt, pepper, ketchup. Cut it in half. Italian 90 90 90. You know what I'm
What
saying?
makes it Italian though, bro?
I have no idea. It just tastes good. I don't know. But it tastes good as hell, though. I'll tell you
Man, I remember the first time you mentioned some shit like that. Goddamn, like
that.
the hairs on my back went up.
But nah. But yeah,
Shit.
again, if you're like,
Although
you
that is
gotta
a very good point,
gotta
though.
come
It
to
is a
grips
very
with
good
that,
point.
man. Reese cups, yeah, that's hard to find. Like you gotta come to grips with food. Yeah, and then this is like from an American perspective. So God forbid you come from
But
Italy
that's true
or
from wherever you come from, because the thing is that, like, in every country, when you visit whatever country, even if they propose your food, the food from your country, it's usually going to be catering people who live in Japan, right?
mm-hmm,
So the flavors are going to be different, and it sounds like something silly. I myself like thought, okay, yeah, Italian food. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna miss it, of course, but it's not gonna be that big a deal. Boy, oh boy, was I wrong. It is a
mm-hmm.
big deal. Like, you actually do end up missing some flavors, some smells. Maybe I don't fucking know what it is that makes it so nostalgic, but you
Yeah.
really, like, you miss it. Like, there's
Mm-hmm.
something that maybe you're attached to a particular moment. I don't fucking know. I miss
Yeah.
Italian food.
Clothing. Yeah. So it's a lot of things like that that you yourself have to ask. Well, I mean, again, you probably don't even know, but that's why I always say is you should do it. That's why I literally
You're gonna
recommend
learn today.
you should. Yeah, like even if you know what I mean, if you got a teaching opportunity. So contrary to belief, in my opinion, this is my opinion, visiting and being here for like 2 months does not
No, it
really
doesn't qualify.
help. It
Yeah.
doesn't really help per se. Like because you're living a fake life, right? You're not dealing with a honko. You're not dealing with a bank account. You're not dealing with none of that. So the factors that you're really gonna have to consider later doesn't really apply to you if you visit. Because I know a lot of people say, "Oh, I want to visit first to get a feel of the country." Yeah,
I think one of your
yeah.
family actually made a very good point. I remember a long time ago, you invited myself and a few other people for dinner, Thanksgiving,
Mhm.
at, I don't remember what member of your family was, your aunt or your uncle or whatever. We went there, and she asked one of your friends, "So how do you like living in New York?" And this friend of yours was like, "Oh my God, I love it here. Wait until you pay taxes."
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
My aunt, she
your
said
aunt,
that.
your aunt said. And yeah, that's a good point. It's not about the taxes themselves. It's just that when you're visiting a country, you're not leaving the country the way it's supposed to be lived. You're simply leaving the country only looking at the best
All the
parts of it,
and of course in
right?
Japan at its best is like
Oh,
amazing.
it's
I mean,
fucking
god damn,
epic.
what? Like
It's
what? Yo,
epic.
drinking like all you can drink for like $20 and all you can eat and yakiniku every day of the week because you're on vacation and getting drunk and going to the club and messing with the girls or boys, whatever whatever your thing is, or going to
The
the
art,
arcade
the
every day,
architecture,
art, the
whatever
temples,
you
the shrines, like just
whatever
every
you like, you'll
day, like
find.
yeah. So it's just like of course it's gonna be amazing, right? Like, but then when you're really dealing with working in the company, when you're
Do you
dealing
own a
with
car right now?
not now, no.
Okay,
And then they have
because
a mandatory like cars have a mandatory inspection, I believe something like that, where you
yeah,
have to pay, you have to get your car inspected. Like in America, you just keep it, be
it's
quiet,
every two
don't say
years.
nothing. It's a lot of money
It's
too.
every 2 years, and then you have a soft one every year. So essentially, every year you have to get your car inspected. But the expensive one is every 2 years, and the cheap one is every year. Although a lot of people, even in Japan, don't do it.
But
The
it's a thing you're
car
supposed to do.
payments, like the taxes on your car, are going to be brutal,
Mm.
brutal. Like every year for each car, if it's a little bit, $500, if up to like 700, eight
So I
hundred
said it's
dollars
expensive.
per car.
It is expensive. So you
It's
just
really
gotta,
annoying.
again, you gotta just understand
Dude,
where
the
you
bottom
fall.
line is this, like we came here to Japan and we loved it, right?
Mm.
We made the right choice. There will be and there have been and there will be ups and downs. If you're thinking about moving to Japan, what you kind of want to do is try and gather as much information as possible about what you want to do and try and see if you can find a comparison between what you believe is and what actually is.
Hmm.
And then,
Take it from
draw
there.
conclusions and take it from there.
Yeah, I would say
Because,
that.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's not bad to be here. It's not bad, but I mean, it could be really bad.
yeah, and
There are
then
horror
yeah,
stories.
depending on yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be. You might. You know, racism. Another topic we'll talk about later is
Hmm.
different here. Like, and you might prefer a certain kind of racism over another one. You don't know. I mean, I'm just saying. Like that sounds crazy, but no, it's true, man. Like
Branded racism. Like,
some
this
people
one is
might
good, this one, man.
some people might like the overt I don't like you, whereas Japan is more of the avoidance. I'm not gonna sit by you. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna avoid you. You might not like that at all. You might rather have some interaction. You N word. I don't. I well cool. At least I know. Whereas
It's explicit. I mean, I see the fucking white cap. I know what the fuck I'm talking about, but here is a little bit more subtle.
right. I mean that's what I'm saying. So that might again it sounds stupid, but you'll understand. As if you watch stuff and if you come here yourself, you'll know what I mean. Like where
Mm.
you start to realize more about yourself. But I feel like traveling in general is like a very good way to learn who you are. Personally, I feel like.
So right now, it's been I don't know how many years since that moment that you talked about that you started shifting towards an interest in Japan,
Mm.
through video games, right? So imagine that you could talk to that guy right now. What is it that that guy fucked up on the most
I
when
would
it comes
tell
to
him
Japan?
when you was on unemployment, you should have just moved to Japan at 22. I mean at
Do it.
21,
Yeah, that definitely yes
and you would
would
have
have been
you
better.
would yo no job and just getting money every week just to claim unemployment. Oh my goodness.
Wait, would
Oh
you been
my
able to
goodness.
do that though?
Hell yeah, I just need a
Like,
computer. All you need is a computer. Log in. Remember, because unemployment is money that you earn, right? So all you need to
I
do is
don't
log in and
necessarily
claim.
endorse this,
No,
guys.
I'm
I'm
just
just
saying that's
part
what
of the
I'm
fact.
saying. What I would have did, what I would tell my old self, is that a go to college quicker so that way you can move to Japan like in your 20s. I moved here at 29 or 30, so I would
Oh,
say go to college hella faster than when you did. Um, I still would have went to Korea. Go to Korea, do that. Quit college and go to Korea, do that. I would have still did that. But maybe I would have already been done with college had I just went to college when I first went to college.
yeah.
So I would have
It's
said
also like maybe
do it
if you had
earlier.
a stronger drive to move here,
Well, yeah,
it would
at
have
that time
helped you be faster.
it felt impossible, right? Like all I knew
Mm.
was like the hood. Like I ain't know nothing about none of this.
Yeah, yeah.
So I had no idea this was about. Yo, wait, you can live in another place? How does that work?
Frame of
Really?
reference matters. I mean, like your experience of what you know of the outside world compared to your own world
Mm,
does make a difference.
exactly. So
I
how
think for
about
me,
you?
it was different because like I've been moving my whole life, and I'm from Rome, Italy, born and raised. But I lived in a number of countries, and most recently, before Japan, I was living in the United States for a very long time.
Hmm.
So the move itself, like I didn't have the same kind of let's say closed perspective that you may have had when you were younger. If I
Hmm.
could go back, though, I probably would tell myself not to necessarily move to the United States. Maybe do it differently, if anything else,
That's
because
interesting because you kind of did things.
I did.
You know.
I was doing okay. I was doing well. I was doing well in the
Right.
United
That's what I mean.
States.
Like, so that's kind of interesting that you would say that
I know.
because you lived a certain way that many
I
people
lived a
probably don't get to usually do. So,
Yeah, I lived a nice way.
so
Like
to
when
say you would give that up, I don't know. That's kind
I
of.
would, I would, because the thing is that okay, so of course there's a lot of nice aspects to it, right? But there is like my life in the United States was more okay, it was richer in certain aspects, in terms of like, for example, even financially or in interactions with romantic interactions and stuff like that. It was. nice and rich. I had a lot of friends, I knew a lot of people, and so on and so
Mm.
forth. But for some reason, I didn't really feel like I was going to achieve anything there that would make me actually happy. Now, I don't know if that's right or wrong, but what stayed with me is that backtaste of not having been happy. So maybe if I went there with a different mentality, because remember that the reason why I went to the United States eventually went to shit. So I failed. Like my step into the United States was a dramatic one.
Mm.
And then I picked myself up. So that could be part of it. So maybe,
Oh.
my perception itself is skewed. But if it comes to Japan itself, probably I would have convinced myself to study Japanese better, faster, earlier
Oh,
before
that
coming
too.
here.
I did that too. Yeah.
Because that's the one thing that really made it much, much harder for me at the beginning. Which is the lack of Japanese. I mean, shit, to this day, it's still harder than it could be
Hmm.
um, if I spoke Japanese
Hear that,
better.
guys? Start learning Japanese right now.
If I can study right now, the podcast
Yeah,
is
right now.
over. When the podcast is over, the moment the podcast is over, if you're thinking about coming to
Hmm.
Japan, you start studying. Open
Yeah.
that fucking hiragana ABC book and go for it
Get it in.
because you really will need it. You will.
Yeah.
People like you can't count on English, especially if you want to do anything official. You
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
count. You
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
count on English to make friends, maybe pick up some girls or guys here and there. Yes, restaurant maybe yes, but if you want to do anything of value,
Yeah. If you feel like you want to work for your favorite game company, well, you're gonna need that Japanese, buddy. You want to be in Sony or ArcSys or Capcom or whatever.
yeah.
You want to be a pivotal piece of your favorite game company. Well, you're gonna need to learn Japanese. And
You want to create your own business, you want to make your own business plan, you want to create your own store. Absolutely, you need Japanese. Learn Japanese. The more you learn, the better. You're not going to be perfect when you come here, but the more you know
mhm,
at the very beginning, the better it's going to be.
exactly.
Do you
Yeah.
know what we're going to be talking about on the first official episode? This is the intro episode. It's episode 1, but on episode 2, let's say episode 1 bis. What are we going to talk about? We don't know yet, I think.
Yeah, we got some topics, but we didn't lock in on which one. But just stay tuned. We'll
You
be
will
here.
know.
Yeah,
You will like it. You will need it.
yeah. I hope
You
this
will live by it.
I hope this gave you guys like a little insight on us, and a little bit on what you guys can expect from Japan, even from just our little anecdotal stories, or
Mm.
just like from us in general, what this
And from the
podcast is gonna be
Gaijin Bar
about.
podcast,
So,
too. Because this is going to be more or less the vibe of the podcast as we move on.
yeah.
Maybe a little less serious than today because I mean it's very it's going to become maybe a little bit more
Or
comical. But
maybe
no,
more
it's
serious. Mhm.
this is oh you never know. Oh, you never know.
You never know. But yeah,
It's the Gaijin part. Oh my
Gaijin
god,
All right.
the Gaijin Bar
When marijuana becomes
podcast.
legal, we got you. Gaijin Pot episode coming.
Oh, that would be nice. That would be nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
2015. But
All
anyway,
right.
I think, yeah, I mean, Japan moves very slowly, man. I think that is it for today, though, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's about it.
I think that is it. And, dude, it's been nice having you guys here. Stay tuned. We're going to be posting one episode a week of the Gaijin Bar
Yes, yes,
podcast.
yes. Stay
And
tuned, guys. Hit all the
this has been LL, aka Italian in Japan. And my boy here, introduce yourself again.
I'm FT or F Twilight, and hope you guys have enjoyed this audio adventure, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, shout out to all the first time listeners, all the last time listeners, and everybody else in between. And we will see you guys on the next episode.
See you soon.